I'm Sam from Demon Tweaks, and this is everything you need to know about wheel fitment simplified. Right, let's get straight to it. So the first thing that you're going to want to consider is the diameter of a wheel. Now this is what most people just consider the size, right? So a lot of people want to go up a wheel size, so say you want to go from a 16 to a 17, or maybe an 18. One of the biggest things here to consider is how big that arch is. You know, you're not going to be able to put 20s on an MX-5, let's say. Well, not easily anyway. So this one in front of me, you can see here, I believe this is an 18-inch wheel. And you can see that the diameter is dictated literally just as if you drew a straight line over that wheel. It's really, really simple. We've got a tiny one here. We've got another 18 mounted up there to a tire. It's that simple, so just make sure that you've got the space to deal with it. Right. Next thing to consider is something called the PCD. It stands for pitch circle diameter, and essentially this is the bolt or stud pattern of your vehicle matched up to the wheel. So this one in front of me, I believe, is a 5x100 fitment. This one, a 5x118. And we've got a variant of that, but with just 4 bolts here on this smaller wheel. Right, so how do you find out what this is on your car? It's really important because it's not going to match up. There are adapters available, but you don't really want to go down that route, do you? So, simple way of doing it, pop the wheel off your car, have a look on the back, and generally you'll find that information. Or just do a Google search on the car itself, and you'll probably be in the right area too. Okay, so now we know that, we've kind of got a couple of options in the bag. One of the big things that most people like to do is go for a nice, wide, beefy wheel versus their stock one. And this is where you start to go down that kind of stance route and make things look a little bit special. So how do we figure all this out? It's really simple. So say you've got a 7-inch, you might get away with going to an 8-inch, but you don't want it to rub on anything, right? So it could rub on a suspension strut, it could rub on your arch or fender for our American friends. And something to help you here is called offset. And this is the one that trips most people up. But I'm going to try and really, really simplify it for you. So we're going to take this wheel as an example. I'm going to spin it so the face is over here. Right. Imagine there's a center line down the middle of the wheel. In an ideal world, all cars would mount to the center of a wheel and it would be really, really easy, but that's not how it works. So this one, for example, mounts around here to the hub, and that is called a positive offset. If it were to mount further back, it would be a negative offset, negative to this imaginary center line of 0. Now you'll see this dictated by an ET number. So ET0 would mean that within that wheel, that the hub mounts directly to the center. So imagine my arm is a suspension strut, for example, with a hub there. That's kind of what it would look like right into the middle. Now what happens is, if we go for a positive offset wheel like this one, ET35, you can see that the face is kind of straight here, really, and that the hub slightly set back inside, but very much towards the front of the wheel. So this is an ET35. So like I said, we're mounting about here. And what that's going to do, you imagine that you've got the arch or fender of a car around here, is that that's going to pull the wheel back in line with it, right? Because your suspension's mounted, say, about here. So that's all nice and good to go. Whereas on a more deep dish wheel like this one, we'll find that this set back negative. So really this one here is an ET-9, so that sits behind the center line. And what that would do, is imagine our arch here, it's gonna push the wheel out this way, past the arch potentially. So it's all about understanding how far it's going to push in or out to make sure that you're going to balance clearing things like your suspension arms, brakes, and also not stick out of the arch or fender, because number one, it's not going to look good, and number two, you're probably not going to get away with it in the country that you're from, especially in the UK. You're not going to get away with that from an MOT point of view. You can do some other things here, like stretch a tire to kind of give it a little bit of a tuck, but you don't want to go too far past the manufacturer's recommendations on that. You can see that I've got a tire mounted to this Pro Race LT here. It's a nice kind of straight racy profile on this one, so it's really flat edge on that with the R888 from Toyo on it. It's a cool setup, but it may not fit on all cars, so you may just need a little bit of stretch there. So it's really important that you're matching the tyre size up to that of the wheel properly and enough to be able to fit within the car. One of the other things there to consider with the tyre size is that if you're going up a size, so from say a 16 to a 17, you're going to obviously need a smaller sidewall on that tyre in order to compensate for the rolling diameter of the wheel, and that's going to keep your speedo in check. So for more information like this, stay tuned, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.